This PSA was brought to you by the Peter G Show.
You may have second thoughts after the show.
Don't drink the Foster.
We're really talented. We should get Oscars.
Just pick out a car, for Christ's sake.
No, hi, my name is Peter. I want. Here's good.
Yeah.
Adam Perry.
I need to get back in the genie bottle.
Louis from Pennsylvania, you're on.
He likes it.
It's showtime.
Peter G Show, Peter G Show, divorced dad, single dad, divorced dad, single dad, Peter G Show.
Yes, sirree, folks. It's Showtime Wednesday, and it couldn't be a better Wednesday than April 1st right here. Jokes on all of us. It is really great to be here. I want to welcome everybody who's watching and everybody who will be watching The Life of Peter G, The Peter G Show, every Wednesday like clockwork, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. on the East Coast, God willing. And I mean that. We got hope everybody's doing well, as always. Life is semi-challenging at times, but so long as we're all here, I look at that as a major plus. We got a really good show tonight. Actually, we got a great show tonight, as always. Entertainment with a purpose right here. For the first time on screen, he's called in many, many times onto the show, but he's never been on the show in person on screen. And maybe there's a reason for that, because he's been told he has a great face for radio, but he's going to be on the show tonight. Old friend of mine. I've been on his radio show more times than we can count, and a longtime friend since, well, we don't even know how far back it goes. It's biblical. But New York Nick, Pensacola's own New York Nick, then and now, going to be on this show tonight because we spoke to him a year ago. I called him actually, but because he was closing down his bar in Pensacola, Florida, and I used to call him the King of Palafox, one of the originals from when that place was resurrected to be as fruitful as it's become. Downtown Pensacola, Florida was dying. It was a dying place, and he was one of the people who got in there, opened up a restaurant and bar, and then moved it on over and opened up just a bar, and one of the few, him and his twin brother, from Intermissions down there. And that place started thriving. More businesses started coming in. And again, and I've known him for many, many years, but last year he said enough is enough. After 480 years of being in the business, I'm calling it quits and I'm walking away. And I got him on the phone and I gave him I grilled him. I gave him the rundown. I says, in 6 months, you're going to be climbing the walls. And he says, Pete, I'm done. I'm done. So we're having him on the show tonight. 1 year later, it's basically almost exactly 1 year that I spoke with him, and I'm going to reiterate, and we're going to check from then to now where New York Nick is at and what he's doing and how he's doing and all that fun stuff. And I'm telling you, it's a good time for all. And I mean that, babe. So stick around. We got that going on tonight. Also, where are we? Next week, I want to tell you now that I remember, because I get lost in the show and I forget, and then they go, you forgot to do this, you forgot to do that. It's like, Peter, do this, Peter, do that. It's always Peter's fault. But I digress. Next week, Wednesday, April 8th, on this show, I'm going to have author Miss Kimberly Morgan. She's got books. She's got about 4 or 5 books she's written. From true love stories. She's got a love, to stories of her own, but she's got books. Where are they? It's quite a collection. Right here. A Capo's Prayer. She's got 1 and 2. This is the one I'm kind of interested in. Sins of the Midnight Suns. It's kind of interesting. But again, you'll have to check it out for yourself. And she's got a series of the Capo's Son. There's a lot of books, but she's a Southern belle on top of it. She's from Tupelo, Mississippi. Tupelo. But she just happens to live in Pensacola, Florida now. And so it's like everything's kind of coincidentally coming together because I said at the beginning of the year that I was going to start doing a lot more of the Gulf Coast stories because it's a big little place. And I am. So she's going to be on the show, and she's going to be an interesting little get together because again, she's a writer. She's a hoot. Actually, she's easy to talk to, and she's got all kinds of stuff going on in her head. And I'm going to be picking her brain, and we're going to talk about her books. But it's going to be fun for all. So join me Wednesday, April 1st, right here on Life of Peter G, the Peter G Show, where I'm going to have author Miss Kimberly Morgan. And we're going to talk about some of her books, and she's got a new one in the works, and she's also got a hell of a life story of her own, too. So you might want to tune in for that. And she's got one of them voices. She's Southern. I mean Southern. So stay tuned. I love it. All right. What else we got? Oh, so before I get going, I got a few things I want to talk about before we get into New York Nick. But before I start all that stuff, I think that I've been starting this. We started this a few weeks ago, and it's nice to know where you're going astrologically for the week. So before I get going, why don't we take a little astrological cosmic connection break and hear from Moon Mistress Tarot, so that way you know what's in store for you. All right, be right back.
Hello, my loves, and get ready to be spoiled. This beautiful full moon happening on Thursday, April 2nd, is in the zodiac sign of Libra. All about love, romantic love, self-love, my darlings, and all about indulging. My loves, I get asked a lot, what crystals are the best to use when you're going to go outside under that beautiful full moon? Set your intentions. Clear quartz is perfect. It will magnify any of the other stones that you're working with. And you want to work with rose quartz, which is all about healing in relationships, love, and balance. This full moon in Libra will not bring chaos. It will bring clarity. So get out there and howl underneath that beautiful moon and set your intentions, my darlings. As always, find out how this full moon will affect your sign at moonmistresstarot.com. And back to you, Peter.
And back to me, Peter. All right. To find out more about your astrological journey and cosmic connection, go find Moon Mistress Tarot at moonmistresstarot.com. You know, a lot of people are into that kind of stuff, and she is definitely one of those who leads with all the cosmic energy and go howl at the moon. What's going on here? We got oh, sorry, I forgot all about that. Pensacola in the house. Glad you can make it, Pensacola in the house. All right. Speaking of comments, don't forget, you can comment live if you're on the official Facebook Peter G Show. It's the only way I can see the comments. Okay. Just like this one right here. I go, hey, Pensacola in the house. That's good. Local. See, it's local yokel night. So let's, it's going to be one of those nights. I can feel it. Now that, okay. Take two. So if you want to comment, you'd be on the official Facebook Peter G Show page or the official YouTube Peter G Show page or the official LinkedIn Peter G Show page. And I can see the comments live. And if they're kind of, just kind of casually coming in, I'll put them up there and you got something to say? Like tonight, if you want to say something to Nick, put a comment in and I'll put it up there and we'll see what's going on. Or if you want to call him, say something to me, which happens way too many times, put a comment up there. Just go for it. It's all good. But that's what you can do. And don't forget, share with a friend. That's the best thing you can do for me. Share. The bean counters, they want those numbers. And even though that we're doing Facebook, guys, I swear to God, you guys are kicking butt. We're doing close to 750,000 views a month just on Facebook. So that's pretty strong, and we're getting stronger. So I love you for it. Thank you. The YouTube, it's not YouTube, you guys' fault. YouTube, they still just don't want to give me a break. They throttle me back every time I talk things that they don't want me talking about. They just reel me back in and just let me live, but barely. They give me just enough oxygen to stay on. But that doesn't matter. Keep subscribing to YouTube, hit the follow or like button on Facebook and or LinkedIn, and let's get this puppy going because things are getting better and better, and I like it. Don't forget, and if you're too busy to watch, because let's face it, our shows average about 90 minutes on average. You know, you're in the car. A lot of people in California right now just getting off of work. It's only 6:15. What time is it? It's 6:11 in California. People are in their cars driving. Put an earbud in your ear. Google Peter G Show podcast. You can listen to the Peter G Show on the go. I mean, come on. I give you every resource possible. It's on all the majors: Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, you name it, Spotify. So it's the next best thing to be in there. You can be doing it while you're walking, while you're exercising. People love the audio podcast stuff. So you can do it that way. But I love it when you watch, whether you're watching on demand anytime or live. It's a good thing, all right? So just do that, please. Page 2. TikTok. Just talking about TikTok a second ago. I just saw where there's this prank going on TikTok. And it's really blowing my mind. It's like, and I saw this in the Florida Panhandle going on. That's where they talked about it. That there's a prank going on where the youths are running up to garage doors and people's front doors and trying to kick them in. And then they're running off. Like a group of kids are running up to the garage doors and donkey kicking the doors or the front door and trying to kick the door in and then run away. Now, when I was growing up, way back in the 30s and 40s, we had doorbell ringing night the night before Halloween or something like that. You ring the doorbell and you run and hide. People answer the door because it was a lot more. It was very different back then. People would actually go to the door and answer the door. And then they'd start screaming, "You damn kids," and things like that. But kicking someone's door in or attempting to, if somebody's in their house, God forbid, they're laying down sleeping or whatever, they're just in the house and your doors are getting kicked in, you can get killed. You can get shot. And I wouldn't blame anybody for fearing for their life because nowadays you don't know what the hell is going on. So if you got kids and they're in teenage years, I'd sit down and run that by them real quick and say, I heard about this TikTok thing, and tell me you're not doing something as stupid as that. Because it is stupid. Somebody's going to get hurt really bad. Fatally. Don't let that happen. That's something you just don't want. I'm sure they think it's funny or whatever, but it could be really, really bad. So don't do that, all right? It's man, I can't even spring break. I want to touch on spring break a little bit, but I just keep seeing spring break is nothing. I'm going to when Nick comes on, I'm going to talk about spring break, but I'm going to just mention on it now. Spring break has seemed to have gotten a lot different than when I was hanging out during spring breaks. We were having fun. We were having a blast. And now all I'm seeing is spring break fights and videos. And I don't want to draw lines on ethnicities and things like that, but there's something really going wrong with a particular part of our youths. And I'm probably going to blame parents for it, but we'll talk about that one, Nick. If I remember, there's so many things I'm going to talk to Nick about. Just too much. It's like, just reach into the hat and draw. That's what's going on. And I just don't get it. It's like you're supposed to go to spring break and have a good time and come home safe. And I know back in the day, there was a lot of like white kids, especially, that were getting drunk and they'd fall off of balconies. I mean, that's pure stupidity. They weren't acting out at each other, though. I mean, not that it makes it any better, because that's, some kids, it wasn't good. Again, there's always going to be somebody doing stupid shit, but these are mobs of kids fighting and pulling off girls especially, girls of all things, yanking off each other's weaves. It's like, I'm going to get into that. I got videos, but we'll do that on a night when I have a night to myself. One of these nights. We got a lot of guests through the month, but I always try to keep the end of the month just for us so I can point out a few things. But either way, anyway, that's where all that's going. Oh, yeah. So remind me later so I can talk to Nick about that. That's what I'm saying. Somebody remind me in the comments. Don't forget, you can comment. All right. Hey, so Nick's going to be up in a few minutes, or kind of. I'm going to get to Nick and all his antics in a few minutes. But before we get going, I want to hear from my good friends over at Clean Star Products with their money-saving fuel additive DX1 driver. So stick around and I'll be right back, okay?
Hello, I'm Tyrone Thompson of CleanStarProducts.com. This is DX1 Driver in the news, and here's what our friends have to say.
So I'm here to recap on the DX1 I've used. I put it in the oil and I put it in the gas. While I'm using it just for about 3 tanks. Cleaned everything out. I got every ounce of power back in my truck.
When Jared's truck was new, it had a lot of power. Then over time, it began to slow down. He got it all back with our DX1 Driver program.
Something you got to see for yourself. It's a great product. It's affordable. And it blows all the other additives and esters out of the water.
DX1 Driver is the finest oil in the world from a California environmental company. It goes into the fuel system and the oil. It's the only green grade product qualified for the carbon credits program, giving you better fuel mileage, lower emissions, and increased horsepower. So join the fuel savings revolution today. Go to CleanStarProducts.com/shop.
That's right, folks. DX1 driver, I can't say it, but in 2 words, it's that simple. It works. Real simple. One of these little bitty bottles right here. This takes care of your average 4-door sedan. You pour one of these little bottles into a clean oil change. It lasts the whole oil change. On your average American car, that's what, 5,000 miles? If you have a Mercedes or a Bentley or something like that, 10,000 miles, right? Now, if you drive a bigger vehicle, I drive a V8, and the bottle's a little bit bigger because it's 8 cylinders versus 6 and 4, but that's no big deal. It's a couple of ounces more. And then every time you fill up your gas tank, you want to fill it up from empty to full. You pour one of these little bottles into the fuel tank and just put gas in it and fill it up and drive. It's that simple. It's that simple. Couldn't be any easier. Just drive. I'm telling you, you'll notice the difference. I noticed the difference within about 3 to 4 tankfuls, and it made a difference. I mean, I know I was getting better gas mileage, but I noticed that I was stepping on the pedal a lot less to get the vehicle to move. And that even my daughter noticed it. I say it a million times, but I say it every week because when she notices something about a car, I know that something's going on that's working because she just drives and thanks, Dad, bye, Dad. Got to go, Dad. Love you, and that's that. But go out and get you some. I'm telling you, go to their website, www.cleanstarproducts. They got all the information there and a phone number. Call them, talk to them. They want to talk to you. They'll answer all your questions personally, all right? It's that simple. Tell them you saw it on the Peter G Show. That'll help. All right. So here's what we're going to do. I think, first of all, wouldn't be right. I wonder where Paul is tonight. He's not... We're going to take a little sip. Get all this excitement is making me thirsty. Here's to everybody. I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in and share, all right? Believe me, the fun is just starting to begin, all right? Oh. Smooth. Yeah. Ain't that right, Butthead?
Smooth.
That's what I said, smooth. Couldn't have said it any better myself. All right, so sitting in the wings, I got New York Nick. For the first time, he's never made a camera appearance. We'll get to all that too. But before he comes on, I went and dug into the vault. I went a year back, and believe me, I was up all night doing this. What we got here? Why is my... what we got here? Let's see. Will that work on my 87 Pontiac? She's a slug. It's MCF Senior. First of all, shalom. Hey, Nick, he's in upstate New York, Nick. Your neighborhood right there. But anyway, it'll especially work on your 87 Pontiac. The older cars need that. It gets out all that stuff and gets things a going. Scout's honor. But thanks for asking. I'm telling you, you don't really realize until you realize, and especially, you want to clean out that old engine. I mean, it's just the way it is. It's good food, good body. I'm back to doing the plug again, but that's okay because I love these guys because they sponsor me and they know what I do and still sponsor me. So how about that? But I was saying that I went back to the phone call that when I called Nick last year to wish him well on leaving his business and walking away from the radio show and all that kind of stuff. And I managed to capture some video, and I want to go back and let's just listen to this. This is a 10-minute or so piece of the phone call, but just to reiterate on where we were a year ago before I bring Nick on and we talk about the here and now. So I just say, just kick back, check this out. Again, this little piece is from last year with Nick on the phone calling from his bar, Badlands. And then we'll get to the future, the here and now. So here you go.
I'm telling, as God is my witness, I want to be alone. I want to be alone, away from people, off demand. Every time I walk to this place, there's people waiting for me to do this, to say that I'm in town. It's my turn to drink. It's my birthday. It's my anniversary. I haven't seen you in 10 years. And I'm that's it. I've been exhausted. I don't know how people when they get out of their careers, they want to keep doing something else. Maybe they don't have something to keep them occupied. I have so much to keep me occupied. I'm hoping that I outlive everything that I have to do before I die.
No, I get it because I never get bored either. But I see a lot of people who retire and they just go to pieces because they don't know what to do with themselves, which blows my mind. Now, again, the career's been good. I mean, and if you enjoy what you do and you want to keep on doing it, well, God bless you. I get it. Having to cater to people, it's a tough one. I'm just here to poke you a little bit and tell you that I don't care how much you retire. It's like, this is going to be a fascinating transition. And I wish I could be a fly on the friggin' wall.
In 3 months, I'm going to be a footnote. And then you're going to be saying, where's Nick? Anybody see Nick?
Yeah.
And in the 6 months, it's going to be Nick who?
I guess. Or are you going to be out and being elbow to elbow with Mike Ashby?
No. I won't. That you will not see me doing that. I don't know how to say it in any different way. I'm done. I want to be done. I want to be. I'm going home in September for a month. I got 2 nieces getting married 2 weeks apart. I'm taking a month off. I'm going to drive home, and I get to see my family and friends. You got to remember, I came down here for spring break 44 years ago. 10 days turned into life.
Yeah.
I'm not going. I'm not traveling. I'm not doing this that people think that I'm going to be doing. I did it all. I've been to 800 concerts and sporting events. I've been in the bar business. I've seen tens of thousands of people spring break every year. I did all the great things when I was young. Now it's just part of my life story, and I'm out. I'm 65. There's no fountain of youth out there, Pete. We've all tried to find one, and it doesn't exist.
Oh, look, I believe that you're out. I just don't know what the hell you're going to do with yourself. I don't think that even though you got a lot of stuff to do, it's like you can take the shit out of the boy, but you can't take the boy out of the shit or whatever you want to call it. I know that you've had enough. Believe me, I understand dealing with people. I do. Yeah, and that's probably why I was never in that business. But, but I just wanted to ask you these things for the audience to hear it from you. And I wanted to, really document that you're done and just in case anything changes, I can pull up this tape again.
Yeah, I don't see. Geez, I don't see. Let me put it this way: if I won the lottery, I wouldn't want to do it because I won the lottery. They're not. They didn't make me a millionaire, but they paid me off and paid me enough to walk away and take all my toys and go home and ride off into the sunset or something. But I don't see anything that's going to make me say, you know what, I'm gonna do this again. I can't play I can't play a different set list anymore as far as the rock and roll radio thing. Now doing something like what you're doing, some kind of a talking podcast. I've had people approach me that I should write a book and that I should do a podcast of all the shit that I've done and talk about it. Do a different decade here and there and pull out my pictures, have a photo album in front of me and start talking about shit and tell stories about the stuff that I did and how I did it because I lived reality. And the best thing is I have witnesses that were doing the same thing with me.
So if ESPN calls and they need a commentator, you're not up for it, huh?
No, I'm sported out. Oh, that's one thing I won't do. I'm sported out. I am done with sport. I can watch the teams that I like in a game here and there, but I owned a sports bar for 13 years before this bar.
Yeah.
Holy, yeah. Wow.
Okay. All right. Let me cross that off the list here. Well, here's what. Okay. I get it. I totally get it. I'm just throwing things at you because I want to know the do's and don'ts, and we're solidifying this. We're setting it in stone, kind of, sort of. Doesn't really matter. But I just had all these questions, and because I didn't talk to you on the phone, and I said I'm going to wait and see if I can get you on the air, and then just talk to you as if I was talking to you on the phone, and have a little bit of fun and hear what's really going on. And so when's the closing day?
Well, we build it as the final pour with the final four, and then I'm out the door because I have no more.
You little whore.
Now, that is going to be... Now, next weekend is the final four. I got 13 days left, so next weekend is the Saturday the 5th is the final four. Monday the 7th is the national championship, and that's it.
All right. I had this hope. I said, because when I heard these rumors, I go, well, it can't be too soon, but it happens a lot sooner. Unfortunately, I will not be able to wish you well on the final pour, but I'm sure I'll get to see you if I can get you to come out the door one of these days, or one way or another, I'll see you or whatever. But it's been a good run, and we had a lot of fun. Can we at least agree on that?
Pete, the memories when the memories pop up on that Facebook feed.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, some of the stunts that we pulled in that booth and on that radio show were epic, and all the extra, the extra 9 yards you went with between the lighting and then when you made the call in with the phone number and the extra wiring to get the sound even better with the Facebook Live. I mean, you went above and beyond, and that was something you did for that labor of love. You did it out of the goodness and the kindness of your heart. I'll never forget that.
Well,
when I was taking things down in that booth, I thought about you 84 different times.
I know, but then why? What got you? You always give me the look like you wanted to kill me every time I'd bring up a new idea.
Because I was doing a simple little broadcast. It wasn't like I was, it wasn't like obviously I was broadcasting worldwide and doing that kind of thing, but I was trying to, what is it, that stupid the KISS thing, keep it simple, stupid. Yeah. I never used that because I hated KISS. So.
Well, either way, I gotta say, I'm not just because it was us, but I gotta say, out of all your guests and things like that, I'm gonna just go out on a limb and say we did the funniest shit. We did.
You were the best. You were the best. People, the only thing that was that people wanted more of was when I had some hot chicks in there on Facebook Live, and of course they run, put her on. Where's she from? And is she going to be there in an hour?
Yeah, they're not dependable. They're not dependable. I used to have that problem when I was doing my Christmas cards. It's like you got to call 5 of them to try to hope to get one.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
They tell you They tell you the week before I want to be on your radio show, and then they never show up the next Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly. But I just know that I go when I look at all those old memories and some of the I go listen to you were just fun to feed off of. It was funny. It was good stuff.
We were natural together. It seemed to be when we were doing that stuff in there.
Well, that was our friendship, and it just working in our favor for a change. But all right, look, I wish you the best. I love you, and it was a lot of fun. Now I don't know where the hell am I going to hang out now. But I have to. Everybody's gone. The whole downtown has just changed.
Pete, it's every year is different. There are people. I mean, look at Mike. Yeah, I mean, it does. Every year, things change. Larry Johnson sold the Azalea. I mean, Wayne sold the Saki Cafe. I mean, everybody's. We're not getting any younger. No one, like I said, no one's found the fountain of youth. And when you get to be up here and getting up in age, it's just time to be done. I think I really know the future. I think I really know that I don't want to be any part of it anymore, or I would. I think the only way I would do it, Pete, is if I went back home to Syracuse and did it up there.
Yeah, but see, the whole thing was I fell for that whole, when you die, your coffin is going to be right there in the whole living mausoleum with the tape. And I'm going, well, shit. That's, I was like living for that. I go, I better live longer than you because, I got to see this. This is good. That'll be spectacular.
Well, I outlived the living mausoleum. So,
yeah.
They're gonna turn it into maybe into a dart room to throw darts, or I don't know what they're doing. And like I said, April 9th at 8:31 a.m. They can do whatever they want.
Gotcha. All right, look, I got to go because we're I rearranged everything. I wanted to get you on, but I did want to have this conversation because I think again it was a lot of history and. It was a lot of fun, and you ran a good ship, and I was glad to be a part of it. It definitely was an interesting ride, that's for sure. And I get it. I just figured, this is my last chance to poke some fun, and the rest of the time we're just gonna. Next time I see you, we're just gonna be staring at each other. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? I'm good. How are you? Okay. Now what?
We're going to be doing the same thing with each other. We just won't be behind a microphone or in front of a camera.
Yeah, careful what you wish for. I may bring you on once a month to do some kind of topic in your favor, but we'll see. My mind's already thinking ahead. I always think ahead.
Every 3 months, you can do a progress report if you want to.
Well, the thing is, I'm going to step it up, though. Anyway, I'll talk about that when I see you in person. But let's get you out of the business first. All right, ladies and gentlemen, from the Gulf Coast of Florida, New York Nick on his last pour out the door. He's closing down, retiring after his 200 years of being in entertainment, so to speak, from radio shows to bars, all of the above. Anything you want to leave my people with? Something to ponder?
In the immortal words of the Grateful Dead, what a long, strange trip it's been.
Amen. All right, buddy. I love you. I'm sorry I can't be there, and not that it matters. There'll be plenty of people to send you on home on that quiet ride home on the final drive. But it was a trip. It was now I got to find something else to do when I'm in town. Shit.
You just let me know when you're here. We'll do something. We'll go back to the future.
There we go. Great Scott, Marty.
We'll go back to the future without a DeLorean. How about that?
Yeah, hanging out's easy to do, and I just got to get situated. All right, brother. I love you. Just handle it, and I'll see you when I see you.
Thanks for the time, Pete. Yep. Good luck to you. I'll see you soon, sir.
Yeah, you will. Peace out.
All right, bye.
Bye. Well, there you have it. New York Nick. He's closing his doors. Radio shows done. Bars done. Pensacola, Florida. He had a nice little place. It was a good hang. 9 million TVs. He was always there hosting people, and I get it. It's tiresome. A lot of years. And then we do the radio show once a week. He had Radio Free Pensacola Nick's Picks, streaming worldwide. And I'd go when I was in town. If those of you on Facebook, you see all the short clips, we'd live stream onto Facebook, and we'd do all the stuff in between the music. And the jokes were free. There's some pretty good stuff there. Anyway, just wanted to make sure we got him. I needed to document that because when it's over, and there's no taking it back. Oh, what a long, strange trip it's been. So, ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legend, right here. He gets a double drum roll. First time actually appearing on this stage. That's right. He said he didn't have a stage. So, on his soapbox, right here, ladies and gentlemen, my longtime friend. We never actually even went to jail or nothing, and that was a good thing. But Pensacola's own, the king of Palafox, or one of the kings of Palafox, Mr. New York Nick, right there. Wow.
I think the show's already over. That was even I was enjoying that for a while.
I just wanted to refresh your memory in case.
Well, covered so many different bases. I don't even know where to begin.
Well, allow me.
That's why you're there and I'm here.
That's right. That's why I make the big bucks.
That's right.
So I'm going to start right off the bat. I spoke to you last night to pre for all this, right? Real quick, you picked up the phone and you said, "Hey, I'm at a baseball game," right?
I was at my first high school baseball game in Pensacola in 45 years that I've been here.
Were you there for
high
somebody?
School baseball game.
Were you there for somebody? Cheering somebody on?
I was there for somebody. One of my customers, a Syracuse friend who lives here too. I watched her son grow up from a kid all the way at New York Knicks, and now he's a senior in high school, and he was playing baseball out there in Gulf Breeze. So I went to see the he was always a pretty neat little guy, and now he's a senior in high school and going to college, and I went to go watch him play.
You've seen a lot of kids grow up, walk through your place because of your customers.
Jeez.
I mean, my daughter was a baby pretty much.
Remember? That's right. Dave Knudsen, his, all the way back from Manatees. There's a lot of children that we saw born and grow up and move away and whatever, and now they're having their own children after 45 years is a long time.
It is a long time, but first let's get back to the phone call. So I call you and you go, "Pete, I'm at a baseball game," and I go, "Can you talk?" And he goes, "Yeah." I said, "Well, want to call me afterwards?" He goes, "No, I'm meeting up with Mike Ashby."
I would just ride home.
Oh, sure. There you go. Yeah. Okay. So driving Miss Jesus. You're driving Jesus home. That way he doesn't meet his father.
Oh.
But did I not tell you? You heard it on the tape. I said you're going to be hanging out with Mike, and oh no, I'm not. And then there it was. I pick up the phone, and the first thing is like, I'm going to meet up with Mike Ashby.
I end up running into Mike maybe once every other week. We have mutual friends and things that we do here and there, and Doc and some other restaurant owners and everything else like that. So, and bar owners, so we do actually see each other every once in a while.
I knew that, but I
It's not like I think you're thinking that you knew it was going to be like it is or like it was back then, and it's not. A lot of stuff that I said on that little 1 year ago podcast call-in has rang true.
Uh-huh. Well, okay. So, I mean, I'm sure it did. I just wanted to, reiterate and get the crowd set up a little bit and to where you were and where we were. And look, somebody's wanting to say hi to you. Who's this? Hi, Nick.
Oh, Corey Lowmiller. Hi, Corey.
There you go.
I knew Corey all the way back I met her way back in the doc days. I remember I took a couple of pictures of her because her cousin was a kicker for the Washington Redskins, who was my football team. And we hit it off really well because of that. And then I met Corey's Corey, and I, that's the beauty of this Facebook social media thing. One of the good things, and probably a few of the only good things about it, is you get to keep up and catch up with people that you knew that, everybody goes their different ways and everything like that. But yeah, hi, Corey. Hopefully you're still in Pensacola. On the beach.
Yeah. On the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just she chimed in. In fact, she's they're doing a paddle out or something like that in May for her brother or something. I'm keeping
yes,
up with a lot.
there is a I'm going. Her mother and I believe it's her mother and brother. They're doing a paddle out, and that's in May.
Okay, I remember that because she contacted me, and I don't. It's hard for me to see all these things and keep up, but I'm really trying. I mean, it's been quite a transition, and I said I'm going to really start focusing in on the Gulf Coast and things that are going on around here. And what better way is to start with the king of Palafox right here?
You need to,
Well, let's face it. You started in the beginning. I mean,
we didn't start. Okay. Let's go back to square one when we did come to Palafox. Mike and I left the Pensacola Beach after the 99 season. Now, the year of 2000, and this is when, I'll give everybody a quick history. The revolution of the suburban sprawl coming back to downtowns across the country had begun. I mean, Beale Street, everybody wanted a Bourbon Street. Everybody wanted an Ybor City. So, every city tried to find a district within their downtown confines to do this, to create an entertainment district. And most of them were either warehouse districts, waterfront districts, or historical districts. And some had all three, some had two, some only had one. But every city did it. Syracuse did it, but getting back to us, now this was in 2000, so we knew what was going to happen. Kind of predicted the future. We knew it was going to happen. We knew Palafox was going to be the place because that's where they had the few gallery nights, they had the parades, they had this and that. It was Palafox, and Seville was still down there. Trader John's had been reopened. There's places that had been there. There's other places that tried when Mike and I came down and did our things. Some stuck, some didn't. I mean, Joe from Hopjacks. I mean, Hopjacks was another one of those staples down there that lasted a while. You got lucky. A lot of it's a little bit of luck. I was able to realize my dream, and that was my dream, and I did it. I opened up. The New York Knicks was the best one. I had the Old Town Tavern, with the North Hill Grill upstairs, and then, New York Knicks was 13 years. In fact, this weekend is the 10-year anniversary that we closed it, Pete. 2016 was the last year of New York Knicks. And then, of course, I had Badlands for 8 years. So, 25 years of it down there, and look at the changes that have gone on from when we started. Jesus, Palafox used to be a one-way street.
Yeah.
People don't realize that.
Does anybody care? I mean, which way they go, or
well, preferably, when they went the right way. But at the end of the night, there's a lot of people who didn't realize it, and they're going the wrong way.
Right?
Had to be told they're going the wrong way.
But look, but again, back in the early days, the only reason why I bring this up is because that place used to be back in the 80s, early. It was still kind of alive, and then it just took a dump, and everything went away. Seville was like the only thing down there. And it hung on only because I guess they had the money to hang on and rode it through. And then all of a sudden, I mean, now downtown Pensacola is like street after street. There's all these hidden restaurants. And so I am lost. I have no idea of how many like cool little places there are now going on over there. It's amazing.
You're getting now the what do you call it, the spider effect from Palafox onto the other street, Jefferson Street. Going back now, Bayland, there's some things going on down there. Over there at Jefferson Street is going to almost like Palafox East over there. They got the hotel going up. They have the where Perfect Plain is. They built the Union Public House over there. So there's more of a little bit of a sprawl going on. And Pensacola is getting big enough where, there's enough to, support all of it. People coming downtown, there's a lot of problem with parking. But the thing is, you're not going to be able to park and pull your car in front of your favorite restaurant or bar and walk right in the front door. And most people, you park 2 blocks. Let's put it this way. You walk from New York Knicks to Intermission, it's 2 blocks. You don't think twice about it. You park on Spring Street, which is 2 blocks away for free, and people think they're in Siberia.
Can you park for free anymore?
Say what?
Can you park for free anymore?
You can park free now while they're and there is certain designated parking spots that are always free, but they're 2 blocks off the beaten path. And that's what the thing is. People don't understand. They don't have it they don't have the mindset to understand it. You know, you walk from New York Knicks to Intermission is 2 blocks. No one thinks twice about it. You walk from park on Spring Street for free, walk 2 blocks to and they think that they have to park in Siberia.
I'm just saying that it's really gotten out of control. The fees where you can park, you know, closer or whatever, it's astronomical, and people get booted, and it's all this like you got to have the app, and I think it's gonna hurt downtown more than people go to the mall.
You've got two different parking. You got the private parking, which is the red signs. Those are the people that are actually out of New Orleans. That company, the Admiral or something like that. Whatever they're called, and they are out of New Orleans. Now the emerald green signs and the blue signs are the city of Pensacola, and they're like 85 cents an hour. And it's dirt cheap. It's ridiculously cheap, and you do it on the app. I do it when I go down there. If I'm not when I'm, and even now that I don't have a place to park, when I do go down there, I just punch it in. I pay 85 cents. I run in, do this, do that, and I'm gone. I'm back and I'm out.
How does those? I mean, because again, you know how you park on the curbsides and stuff, and you go to a meter that's like, or where you put in the money, it's like 5 parking places down. How the hell do they know where you're parking at?
There are people on the street. Literally, there's the parking patrol, whatever you
meter
call
maid, blah, blah, blah.
Meter maids. Yeah, the parking. They call them parking ambassadors. You know, trying to get rid of the name, make them sound better. You know, every look, Pete. Every city you go to, you got to pay for parking. Every city you go to, and most of them are more expensive than Pensacola.
I know, but they're ruining. Like again, there's just
it's growth, and believe me, real estate is at a premium. And you know, to have a parking lot, you know, for one, you have to have 1 spot for every people for your fire code. That's a lot of money. It really is. Now, I'm not defending. You know, some things may be done better. Of course, you know, they've done studies after studies.
I'll bitch about it. I can bitch about it because that's what I do. But the thing is, look, the price of the condos they're wanting for down there,
overpriced. Everything is overpriced.
Yeah, we're not in friggin' LA. I mean, and, you know what I mean? It's pretty here, but it ain't that
overpriced. They've everything has been bumped up to thinking that downtown Pensacola is the Mecca of the new Mecca of Florida, which it's not. It's the only, you know, I came to Pensacola. It was the only city that wasn't a beach community from Tallahassee all the way to Mobile. Those were the 2 cities, and then Pensacola was in the middle. The rest of them were all beach communities. Panama City, Gulf Shores, Destin, Fort Walton are all beach communities.
All right.
Pensacola had a city, an actual city, and you know it's one of the last untouched parts of Florida.
Yeah, well, they're touching it all right. I mean, I just saw. I don't know if it was fake, but you see the plans they're thinking about on Pensacola Beach, that big old like complex right there by the water tower. They're like wanting to propose. It's like a multiplex.
Okay, you know that I've been saying that for 25, 30 years. I can fix all the problems on Pensacola Beach. There's 10 things that Pensacola Beach has to do. It'll fix the traffic. It'll fix the parking. It'll fix everything. But you know what? They don't want to listen to the private sector. That Santa Rosa Island Authority, and it all started back in the 90s when the first hurricanes came. That changed. That was a game changer. It wasn't Pensacola Beach wasn't a local thing anymore because you wiped out places that couldn't get rebuilt with the new codes. Bigger money came in, and that's what happens on every coast in Florida or any coast where a hurricane hits. Bigger money comes in that can take those spots, and the people can't rebuild who had those spots originally. But I know what the secret is, but I know what you're talking about, and what should be done, and hopefully it's along the same lines. They need to build a parking garage in that park, and first of all, you can't see the water from Via de Luna. Nobody can see the water. I know you don't have a car tall enough. You can't see the water. You can't see the water, so you're not blocking any view. The only view you're going to be blocking is of the dock and crabs and the police station and the bathrooms and that $600,000 amphitheater that still hasn't had a major concert yet. But if you get private money and you build a massive garage there for the parking, you could charge $20 a day. People will be glad to pay $20 to park their car on the beach all day long. They get a spot all day. Number one, you let them park there, but you give the people who build that garage, you give them roof rights, and then you give them the bottom floor rights for retail, and they can make money off of that too, with rentals and with the parking. But there are private sectors that will do that.
I get it. It just seems like it's going to be, that island is so narrow, and it's just like you're like this going the one road, and you got towers on each side, and it just, I guess I just long for the old days.
Drive down 98 and see what it's like everywhere else, all the way from the other end of Gulf Shores to the end of Panama City, Mexico Beach. It's the same way on 98. And Pensacola Beach is, Pensacola Beach is zoned out like no other beach is. You got the core area, you got residential, then you got the national seashores that'll never be touched. Yeah. There's a lot of ideas. There's a lot of things that should happen, that could happen, but they won't happen. Number one, like I said, they hate to be wrong because they're sitting in that chair. They think that they're right at any of those councils or whatever. But that's a different story.
And let's reel it back into in-town, because in-town's going to start getting congested a little bit more too. You got Main Street near Joe Patty's and the baseball field. Now are they building a Hard Rock across the street? Are they going to do that?
Where they're supposed to be. Right now they're building, I believe there's residential is what's being built on the old field right there where the original sewer plant was. Yes.
Nice.
Other part, there's other parcels that are part of the ballpark area, plus across the street as well, that are supposedly being done and built out for some kind of, it's a Hard Rock reverb, whatever. I think it's like spas, this, that, whatever.
Yeah.
Everything but a casino.
Yeah, you won't be going there.
I won't be staying in a hotel in downtown Pensacola because I got a house.
No, you want casinos. You and your twin brother.
Here's what's going to happen in the next 10 years. You want to know what's going to happen in the state of Florida? Because you can see how they're trying to cut the property taxes and stuff.
Yeah.
Here's what's going to happen. Here's the two things that are going to happen. I'll tell you what the future is.
All right. Go ahead.
They're going to, what's going to happen? They're going to, all the money from recreational marijuana, and I know it's a touchy subject, but the billions of dollars that they're already generating, they can have so much more. They're going to, and if the governor proposes to the people of the state of Florida, listen, we need the money. Yeah. If you do not want a state income tax, you got to pass the marijuana bill. And it'll pay, because if it's either or, 98% of the residents are going to vote for marijuana and not a state income tax. That's why they're here. Yeah. The second thing that's going to happen is casinos. Now, the way that I've seen some states do it, they do it, but they do it logically, not like Biloxi where you got 15 right there in the same area, which is not a bad idea, but you can't have 15 in every county. So if you have one for every county in the state of Florida, because that's what's going to happen too. Approve legalized gambling, or we're going to have a state income tax to raise the money. 98% of the people are going to vote for casinos because they don't want a state income tax. You would too, wouldn't you?
No, listen, I'm all for the abolishing of, I don't see the need for paying property tax on a property that you're supposedly supposed to own. I mean, it's totally, it's ridiculous, but then people are saying, well, where are they going to get the money to do the things they do? Well, they can figure it out. Maybe be a little less wasteful. Be more resourceful.
Once you own your land, you should. That's another thing. Or and when you become a certain age, because then you get, if you're on a fixed income and you got X amount of dollars to go around.
It's hard. It's hard. I get it, but I just thought that it's not everybody's getting with free property tax. If you're not residing on that property, commercial properties, there's still Airbnbs, there's still people have rentals. You pay taxes on that. So it's only the people who have residences that they reside in, and you don't pay property tax. I think that's the way it should be all over the place. But again, I'm more worried about downtown being over congested and hard to get to and hard to get through with all this crap.
every city has the same issues like that, especially when they grow, and especially they're at the entertainment districts. They have that type of thing. Look, Bourbon Street, for an example, they put the bollards up and they just shut down the main road, and it's all walking only. So you got all the other congestion. You can't cut through, you can't do this and that. So that's all congested like that. Those are growing pains, and they're good problems to have. Like I said, the people and the talk about the parking thing is if you look at it logically, like I said, you park 2 blocks away, you can park for free, you can walk to Palafox, then you're on Palafox in 2 blocks. No one has a problem walking back and forth. It's 5 blocks long. They walk back and forth, they bar hop, they sightsee, they do this, they do that, and they have no problem or no issue doing that. They ask them to park 2 blocks away for free, and they think you're sending them to Siberia.
No, that's fine. I didn't know what the perimeter was of how far you have to be before you don't.
Spring Street's free, 2 blocks away. Spring Street. Romano's behind us, and then Spring Street is next, over where the courthouse is.
Gotcha. Hang on one second here. What do we got going on? Somebody's a fan. Moon Mistress is amazing. Well,
oh yeah, I saw that. I was going to comment there too.
What? She's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I actually watched the infomercial.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you might need a little cosmic help in your,
nothing's going to help.
That's true.
as you can tell.
So I'm also seeing through Facebook, because this as always, I've told many that this whole show started by watching everything that goes on in Facebook, but intermissions still seems to be thriving pretty well. I see somebody's taking a lot of photos and puts them up on Facebook. I mean, lots of younger kids, going there having a good time.
Yeah, the basic structure of intermission stayed intact for the most part. They came in and they cleaned up. They put the brand new bathrooms in, which needed to be done. They fixed. They did a lot of work, a lot of fixing up things. They did the back patio. They got it all leveled out. So it's they made a nice little complex out of it, and they play and they changed the music. They put up a lot of TVs, so they play sports as well. They got a food truck out back. I think they got a back. They even built a back bar on the back patio. But they play the younger kids' music. I haven't been in there since, only because of the music. Number one, I'm not out at night very much anymore, anyways, and when I am out, it's for an event. I went to the Sun Belt Conference basketball tournament. I went to a baseball game. I get out just to. For a reason, not just I'm going out drinking tonight, or I'm going to go out, hanging out here and bar hopping, or whatever the case may be.
But I got to say that even back in my day before we moved, in the mid 80s and all that, Pensacola seems to be, again, and your twin was the leader in sales of the liquor Rumpelmans, and
Rumplehead, yeah. Shaken.
Well,
ice cold.
You don't hear about that in a lot of places. You have to ask for it, and then they don't know what to do with it. And they go, I say, can you pour it on ice and shake the living hell out of it and strain it? They go, well, it's in the freezer. I go, no.
No, you don't understand.
I'm not that tough.
You got to. The whole idea is to dilute it and to thin it out, because it's like syrup. So you gotta shake it like you're shaking up. Like you're shaking a shooter, something like a kamikaze or something. You just pour it over ice and shake it like you would any other drink you need to do. And it's like mouthwash. It was 100 proof mouthwash
until it kicks your ass.
Because as you get older, you know how to. How do you say? You know how to.
Pace yourself.
Pace yourself. You know how to your limits. You know what you're. And it depends what you're gonna do. When we were stuck. If you're stuck in a casino, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's fine. No, I know, but I've had moments where everything seems fine, and then all of a sudden, pow.
And you're also talking, not only it's Rumple and it's a shot, but it's 100 proof. It's not the normal 80 proof. So you're talking, there's extra proof in there. That's why I like to dilute it. And if you pour a half a shot, over ice and shake it up and dilute it, then it looks like a nice big shot, but it's half, it's all diluted. You don't have to pour a whole shot of Rumple in there. Then you're talking about 5 ounces after it's all shaken.
One night in your bar, I was hanging out with your twin, and I ended up going out walking the streets with him, and we stopped into a bar that was on the side in between intermission and you. There's one on the side across the street. And he took me, and we have a shot there, and then we did some at his bar, and then we were doing them at your bar. By the time he finished, I got video of it. You couldn't understand a word he was saying.
Oh yeah, he last night. By the time and the baseball game went extra innings, so by the time I got to him up there, he had already left my bar. He was already at the Azalea.
Oh boy!
And and of course, walking in the door there, and
I love it. I had him out there. I'm trying to get him to do something. I was trying to get him to do a clip for my show, and he's like, he's flipping his hair. Jesus, I'm going, Jesus. I forgot. I wish I had a picture with it. So a lot of fun and a lot of good stuff. But let's go. But Rumplemints is like I'd say, if you had a mascot of a certain type of alcohol for Pensacola, I mean, every day, ever since back in the Zoom, when Zoom used to be a bartender and the doc and rump, you want to rumple, and shaking it, and it was like a art to doing it,
It was like liquid candy cane. I didn't like Jaeger because it tasted like cough syrup. I didn't, I don't drink the tequila because I see what it does. The girls makes them crazy. So why do I want to, be crazy too? So it just happened to be that one thing, and it's great for when you're drinking. Sometimes when people are drinking and they talk to you, they've been drinking for a while and they got you need to do a shot of Rumple. You got bad breath.
Minty fresh. Hang on a second, because this is a first for me. Thanks for keeping your always fascinating going on. This is Terry Woolman. I had Terry Woolman on my show. He's a great musician. Known him since '92. When I first moved to LA in '91 or so, and I had him on my show. I got to tell you, another one of these guys. He came from Miami, and I found out things having him on my show just because he was on the show and having a conversation that we've never had. And another fascinating thing, it's like you just learn things about people. Like right now, we're talking about downtown, and you're pretty well versed with downtown. But thanks for watching, Terry. I love you. I say Nick for mayor. New York Nick for mayor.
Never. Because I'm not a political person. I'm more of the painfully obvious that's out there, things that should be done and could be done, and then you got people in your ear telling you to do this and do that. And
I know, but not being political is what we need.
That's the thing. No one is going to take practicality over politics.
I hate the whole word politics and politicians.
Okay. It's terrible. It was bad enough as it was 10 years ago. It got incredibly out of control with the George Floyd incident, the riots that were going on, the pandemic that happened. Yeah, and then running not voting for Trump the second term. Everything would have been fine if he would have been elected the second term, because he had to come back and like I said, I'm not going to get political.
Yeah,
I just don't.
I know
a lot of things a lot of people don't agree with, but I'll tell you what, there's a lot of things that have gone on that people are just fed up with, and they're just sick of it. Why do you think they elected him president after somebody else was just in there? He was.
When you had your bar, though, you were really good about shutting the fuck up about stuff, because you had crowds of people that come from different approaches. You were really good.
Two sides. You can't do what Springsteen is doing now and saying, "I don't care. This is my platform."
He's rich. He doesn't care anymore.
Yeah. So he announces a 19 city, no kings, Land of Hope and Dreams tour. There is no king. I don't know where this king thing came from. Anyways, it's been 250 years since we had a king. I just don't get. No, we don't want to get political. Anyways,
yeah, I know, but I didn't. Did you go to the rally? Did you rally for the No Kings in Pensacola?
No, I wasn't allowed. Number one, I don't have any hair, let alone a different color hair.
Well, you can always wear a wig.
I got an orange wig, but then they're gonna think I'm Donald Trump, and then they're gonna attack me.
Has your septum for the bull ring? Has it healed up, or you still have the hole?
I got a bull. I got a lot of bull. All right.
There you go. I saved this for you. This was in case you. This was.
I am going to the Springsteen concert. I've got to go see Springsteen because it's Springsteen. He's doing 3 hours of music. I don't care. Let me put it this way. I bought a seat in the back on the aisle. Every time he starts talking about this or that, I get up, I go to the bathroom, or I go get a beer, and then when I hear the music start again, I go back to my seat.
Okay. I want to get into that too, but wait real quick because I saved this clip. This was some of the protesters over in Pensacola.
What do we want?
We don't know.
When do we want it?
Also unclear.
Why do we want it?
Because it was forwarded to us in an email, so it must be true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about music real quick because not real quick, but because you are a huge music fan. I mean, you're the guy who spends the money. You see Phil Collins at his end, Genesis. You're a fan of and Springsteen. I just feel like Springsteen just lost his umph. And you'll pay $2,000 to go see a damn concert, and I just can't get myself. Maybe because I never used to have to pay to go to concerts or something.
Yeah, when I was with the radio, I never had to pay, but I missed all those ticket stubs, and I still got 800 of them. So. I'm missing Santana tonight. Santana's at the Civic Center tonight.
He's coming over after the show.
Now, good.
Yeah,
good. Good for you. Now, see, I got to drive back from Springsteen in Atlanta. It's on a Saturday, and the next day is Alice Cooper at the Civic Center here. So I got to go see Alice. Alice is Alice.
My buddy's playing drums for him, and I'm hoping I'm going to give him a call and see.
The music. Speaking of the music, you want to know what I was going to be doing, going crazy? I've been putting this stuff. Thousands and thousands of pieces of music online to sell, and I've been going to the post office twice a week. And I've just started with the stuff that's at the low end, all the stuff I'm trying to get rid of. That's just taking up, piles and piles and space. Just thousands. And
first freeze of the night. Where'd you go?
So those are the ones I gotta get rid of in bulk. But anyways, that's what I've been doing. I've been putting all my music. I haven't even got to the good stuff.
Right. Well, I wish I had a picture of the mausoleum because it was so tall. How tall was it to the ceiling? And it was
16. It was 16 feet. And I do have pictures. I got pictures of my garage, and with my climate controlled garage with all my music. I'm in my media room now, and I got stuff, a little bit of stuff behind me, but you can't see the rest of it surrounding the whole room.
You had it all. You still had functional 8-track players with the 8-track.
Still do 8 tracks.
And when you do your radio show, you would use these ancient, to do the authentic plays, with the crackly records or non-crackly, and you were serious about it because when we do the radio show, your radio show, I'm just in there for the friggin' joyride, and you're just, I'm trying to friggin' do this. Just leave me alone. It's like,
it was tough to do the whole. That you're running 8 tracks and cassettes and reel to reels and the 2 albums and the 2 CD players and the music, and you're making sure that you're doing it. And like you said, I wanted to do it that way because I wanted the real physical music that people. I had people walk by and oh, this is great. Look at this. I remember all the 8 tracks. I remember this and that. This is beautiful. That looks wonderful. Then I got guys walking by. They pull out their phone and say, you know what? I got 10 times of the amount of music you have, and it's all right here. And if you're missing the point.
Yeah, they're missing. Yeah, it's not about that. I get that. I'm all over the map with the questions, but it all still stays in the realm. The night that you finished, your last night at the bar where you said goodbye and all that, Tell me a little bit about that. Was it like a turnout? Did people come because it was your last night, or was it just just?
Oh yeah, it was. I had people with balloons and cakes. There was my daughter surprised me all the way from Tampa that weekend, and that was the weekend that she told me that she was having my first grandchild, and she came back that weekend to tell me in person and this and that. And I had to keep that under wraps until she let everybody else know. The people that a lot of there's people now looking that were there, and people that couldn't make it, and people that are trying to get through. When are we going to get together? When are we going to do this and do that? And it's like
because when I called you on that, I think I was the shows were on Wednesdays. That was only a year ago. Last year when I called you to speak to you to get the rundown on the official coming out of your mouth what's going on. The first thing you said when you got on, it's earlier in the phone call, and I couldn't play it all because it was a long call. And then you said, the Rumpelmans is flowing. And I knew that you were in the mood. And I go, all right, this is perfect. This is
it does. You lose a lot of your inhibition when you're
yeah, but it was great because it set the pace. Because let me tell you, we've had a couple of those nights doing your radio show that like we started getting a little bit over the top.
Oh yeah, I remember I would do we would have 20-minute breaks. I would do the music, do the talking, feel this and that. Then I would take the break, and we do every 20 minutes. We would start the music again. We do another shot.
Yeah, you get behind the bar and start making these boutique-y shot
apples, or the orange crushes and everything else. The apple pies, all the different ones that I haven't made any of those. I haven't.
Yeah,
it's
straight. Yeah, just sticking straight to heroin now, huh?
Yeah, the main line. You might just bypass all the rest. But a lot of stuff that I said in that a year ago is, I'm telling you, I was like, Pete, I'm done. I'm this, I'm that, and so far so good.
Let's talk about when you walked out of that bar, you got in your car and drove home. Did you just have silence in the car, or were you listening to music? I mean, where was your head out when you? I just find this stuff interesting because you're talking about walking away from. It's almost like when I stop playing drums or something like that. Or because of my daughter, I had to make some choices, and it's a big change.
It wasn't like where somebody had their 40-year career at let's say Carrier Corporation, and their last day was their last day, and they drove away. I still had the transition of the bar and paperwork. Mail was still going to be coming to my house, and the bank accounts, and this, that, the accounting. So there was a lot of things that were still attached. So it wasn't really cut and dry where I was done. But not having to do anything that day or night that had to do anything with running the bar. Yeah. It was a beautiful thing. That's why that's why I didn't resurrect the radio station. I mean, everybody said, and I still don't have. I did it, Pete. I did it all. I just did it.
I get it. I just was wondering, in your head, you get in the car and you're driving, and you just start going, "That's it." That's it. Now, I think you should have staged your exit like a grand exit, and everybody's waving to you, and even where's it at? Here we go. What you should have played Freebird out the door. Yeah.
Oh my God, you will never. And someone would have to sneak a boombox into my funeral in my grave and put that thing on when I'm already dead. What are you doing? Don't be telling me you're humming Freebird. No karaoke on this show.
You're just slowly walking out the door. They're throwing rose petals at you as you're being rolled out the door.
I had more of a ceremonial out the door when I closed the New York Knicks because it was the national. That's funny because 10 years ago when I did close it, Syracuse men's and women's were in the both Final Fours that weekend, and I had literally people were coming out of the woodwork. They know it was the end, and it was a sea of orange. They drank me dry, and they ate everything. I mean, I had nothing left. I remember the national championship night on that Monday. Joe brought 12 pizzas over from Hopjack. Said, "Here, people got to eat something." And
Wow.
That was more of a farewell, because when that was over, I stood at the front door and held it open, and I still got that as my background on my phone. Out.
I was trying to find, you know how we used to do the live when I'd show up and we'd plug in and go to the Facebook Live. There's a few clips.
You can't see it.
You can't see it. Oh, here we go again. Like when we're showing the phone numbers backwards, right? So there's.
I remember when I took that down. I almost kept it.
The problem is I don't have those clips because those were actual Facebook Lives, and they weren't recorded by me. They were recorded by Facebook, and I didn't capture them. The only reason that they resurrect is because when they come up as memories, I keep shoving them back out there. But right. I searched computer hard drives for the past 6 years trying to find. There's a couple of clips of you laughing so friggin' hard that I'm afraid you're going to have a coronary, like you couldn't breathe, and I couldn't find it. And the only clip I have that I screen recorded, and I think you have it too because you asked me for it, I'm going to play a quick little clip of just a little taste of like our in between the music stuff, just to this is what was going on Facebook Live with, thank God the audio was improved because you said thanks, Peter, for making the audio better. It was never good to start with. It was putting a microphone by a speaker.
Yeah. That's right.
Oh my God! And it was making me crazy. I just couldn't bear it. So here we go. Let's just take this is only a quick 3-minute little piece, and just a little taste in the purple fishbowl because the lighting on this one, you went back to that kind of lighting, and I just gave up at this point.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Does he's
there you go.
again, and
I'm taking over.
And the airwaves.
I'm taking over.
He's taking over.
Hey.
He's taking just like the song.
Hey,
that's right. Mike and the Mechanics, Radio Free Pensacola. That was awesome. I will listen to the rerun. I'm sorry, in the beginning I had the XM radio pod a little bit up, and it was not completely off. And The Rock, he actually caught that down there in Carolina. Said, "Hey, there's music in the background," and so that's that. Daddy Laddie, I can't wait for the show.
Are you two going together?
We're going together.
Are you going to hold hands?
We will hold hands because hopefully he has gloves on because I have no gloves. The only gloves I have are rubber gloves and that are,
I just want to picture you with pants on.
A picture of me with pants on?
I mean long pants.
Long
pants. Yeah.
It's I'm going up north. I'm going where you need long pants. It's snowing up there.
I know, but you can go there with flip-flops and socks between,
All right, let me ask you something. Okay, so you see a girl walking down the street with a dress on or a skirt. No one says a word. You see a guy with shorts on. It's like breaking news. It's the same legs.
Well, no, as long as you're not wearing a dress.
Oh, Jesus, that's it. Get the fuck out of my
Hey, whoa. Hey, whoa, yeah.
Gobble, gobble.
How much time we got?
Not enough, thank God.
All right, so to make a long story short, all in all, thanks for letting me be here during the holiday season, and I wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, family or not. It's just a day.
Don't thank me. Better thank the mayor and the police department. They're the ones that let you stay and come
I know.
back.
I don't have to be anywhere till Sunday.
I just can't wait to be on that airplane. If it wasn't a Genesis special, my flight leaves at 5:15. I'd be playing the
delayed.
I'd be playing the Who 5:15.
Delayed.
And we usually do request. Sorry for the guy at the bar wanted to hear some Neil Young. I pulled it out.
Play it after the show.
I'll play it. Hey, that's right. I can play it after the show.
You can do that.
I can do that.
Yeah. All right, but Thanksgiving, the holidays. I wish I was here for your Christmas show.
I want to say a prayer for everybody sitting at the bar having to listen to this.
What do you mean? They love it.
No, I could.
I'm telling you, look at them. They're happy pappy.
Oh, no.
Happy pappy people.
Okay.
Hey, what?
So dig that. Now, there's no show next week because I'll be stuck in Syracuse. Hopefully, I'll be stuck in a blizzard, but I'll be at the bar. During the 2 hours of this show, I'll be in the Carrier Dome watching Syracuse, Indiana basketball. And I don't get back until, you know what? I don't care when I get back.
Don't care. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'll get back when I can.
It don't matter. But don't forget, Upgraded Audio is brought to you by Nick's new improved Facebook audio show.
I feel for you out there.
Don't mention it. Don't mention it.
All right, you guys do what you do out there. Thank you very much for listening. I'll see you in 2 weeks. It'll be a catch up on all the request show in 2 weeks, so there'll be no theme.
That's right.
I'm going to Genesis, and some people might be that are listening. No one here is.
He's a giddy little schoolgirl.
It's Radio Free Pensacola. Good night now.
Good night now. There you go.
Good night now.
There you go. You always used to think that your customers hated the banter.
Well, they're not listening to the banter because it's not loud enough, and then they got to stop their conversations to actually listen and not talk and get interrupted. And then it's hard to have a talk show in a bar. That's why I never did a sports talk show, because the only two people that are going to be listening are the ones that were whoever's in the booth and the people that were actually listening on the air out there on the airwaves. The people in the bar aren't going to listen. They're not going to listen unless you literally turn the volume up loud enough where it's going to get their attention, and they've got to listen.
We could have piped in the TVs. I thought about it. We could have switched all the TVs on to seeing us. Hey, that's a good idea. Hang on a minute. Let me write that down.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, look, that was just a taste. I mean, there was some, there was definitely some ups and downs, but some of those clips, I mean, and there's a lot of them because
there are a lot. Now,
I've shown up in town a lot.
Now, I can tell you that I have every radio show inside this laptop. Every one I recorded, every one is on there, but there's no video. It's only just the audio with it.
Right.
The Facebook Lives, when they pop up from like you said, from the memory bank of Facebook. Yeah, then I see those, and
the only way to capture those, unfortunately, like Facebook changed their platform now. My live, this show will only last on Facebook for 1 month, and then they delete it because of space.
Right.
And they're probably gone, but they're living. Those clips are short, so they're living in the memories aspect, and the only way to capture those is to screen record them, which is how I got that one. In fact, there was a good one yesterday that popped up of us, and I forgot to get it. And it had some, you're always, if I had a nickel for every time you went, holy crap, I could retire.
I don't have to worry about that anymore, though, do I?
Oh, sure, you say that now, but I'm sure I'll still hear that shit. But good stuff, and we had a lot of fun. And again, so per show, there was probably 3 or 4 of those breaks in between the music for the 2-hour show. And I popped into town, at least a couple of times a year, times 5 or 6 years of doing that. And so there's quite a collection. Good
every time. And I remember every time there was something different. The one time that you made the phone numbers, and you made the flaps, and we put down so you can see the phone numbers in the back. The one time when you did the microphone and the splitter, and we got to get the mic has to be into the tablet for the Facebook Live so that you can hear everything. And then, like you said, the lighting.
The lighting was the first. The lighting was the first thing because it looked like a purple fish, just like you see it, and I made you brighten it up, and then it kind of went back down again. And I said, screw it. But that microphone thing, I think that clip right there was one of the first ones because I talked about it. And so whatever year that was, that I forgot to look what year that was.
The only thing with the lighting, I didn't, being a little lighter in there was one thing, but the problem is you're in a bar. You're in the middle of a bar, and you got a big old white DJ booth. People are walking by, go into the bathroom, and
I think a lot of it was all in your head, but people don't get it.
Just wanted to keep it dim.
Anyway, but it was survive. We did it, but the problem was just every time I'd come to you for an idea, you just looking at me like you stop.
Stop. It would be eating you alive.
Even the shows, you're by the end of the night, you're aggravated with me, and then all of a sudden the next day it's like, that was pretty good. It's like, I fucking sing. That's where another one where you start choking to death on laughing.
Sometimes you get caught off guard by you with your comebacks, and then
well, fortunately, we're both kind of colorful in different ways, and so it's not boring, and that was the key. That we could, we can fill the air with something. It doesn't even have to be meaningful, as long as it's entertaining, with purpose.
Yeah, and once you start, you like you said, going off in so many different directions. There's so many things to cover. We already covered Pensacola Beach, downtown parking, the original, this and that.
I've never talked to you about. I've never talked to you about these things. I mean, we're covering, we're kind of doing, we're doing more than just Nick's closing and where are you at, but this is good stuff. I mean, it's just things I think people from any part of any country, a part of the country will find that meaningful because you said it. It's like it happens all over the place. Look at how they wanted to put this like an archway over the toll booth in Pensacola Beach. And it was like those typical, like when you go to Disneyland looking things. And they were charging like $150,000 for the idea.
Well, what they were trying to do, Pete, they were trying to hide the transponders. They didn't want just regular old, electronic transponders over where the toll booth was. So they're trying to kind of cover it up and integrate it with something, beachy or Blue Angels or whatever, and dolphins. And no one's ever going to agree on that. Everyone's going to think it's cheesy, no matter what they choose.
Well, it kind of reminds me of when you go to Disneyland and the parking. When you go into the parking lot, it's the same concept, add a little bit of a different picture on it. But nowadays with AI, I could talk into my phone and say, make me and they charge like $150,000. I remember it was something like that for the concept and the drawings and all. And I'm going, there's where your money's going and shouldn't be going. And that's where I have a problem with it.
Yeah, well, hey, Wally World did it. I mean,
I know, but I mean, times are changing, and like these agencies that they're relying on for their consultations, it's like, come on, this is ridiculous. And somebody, I will be talking about things like this, city bound, because this is where the money's going. Where they're going, well, we can't afford to do this, or we can't afford to do that, and the money's going towards a bunch of bullshit. So, now let's talk about the here and now. So you've been out of it. What's a typical day for Nick on average? Take your time.
Wake up. Take my time waking up. Just start the coffee. Get the computer on. This and that. There's nothing. I have to look at the calendar if I have somewhere to go that day. If I have to go to the post office, I've been going to the post office twice a week with music boxed up, ready to ship off to people. So I leave the house for things like that. I very rarely do I don't even like leaving the house, and it's not like I'm a recluse or anything. But I've got everything I need here. I'm listening to I tell you, Pete, all the music that I'm getting rid of it's all stuff that you can get anywhere. The stuff that I'm hanging on to until the end. I'm listening to all of my favorite bands, but I'm listening to the bootlegs, the unauthorized recordings, demos, concerts from, just all the stuff that I enjoy hearing. And people are like, oh, you should listen to new music. I listen to this group and that group. I listen to more music in my lifetime than most people will ever listen to in their lifetimes.
All right.
And I'm listening to music that I enjoy, the stuff I want to hear.
Yeah. So again, no clock to punch. You're just doing what you got to do when you got to do it, and not going. Let me ask you this, okay? So if I said, hey Nick, I want to meet you out somewhere, where would we meet out? Where does Nick hang out at when he does go out?
If I had to meet somewhere, I would either meet at Bubba's uptown over here, halfway between downtown and my house off of 9 Mile. We'd meet at Bubba's, or you know where Bubba's is?
No, I never heard of it.
Bubba's 33. It's a sports bar restaurant. It's another friend of mine that owns that. That's right there in front of the old University Mall, right there at the corner of Creighton and Davis. It's called Bubba's 33.
Okay. Yeah. Look, there's so many places. I mean, Pensacola has just exploded. The street, just go up Davis Highway, and I'm looking back and forth. I'm going, I got to refamiliarize myself.
Yeah, you know that's and every time it's the same thing every time I go to Syracuse, things are gone. The streets that I knew, I go to this and there, and stuff is gone. So that happens. It's every city. Every city changes like that, and I don't have any real structure. I have nothing. I'm probably going to go do something somewhere, but it's going to be something meaningless. I don't want a title. I mean,
as long as you're not going to bingo or you know what I mean.
I'm not going. No, I won't be doing that. I don't mind, bowling or that pickleball thing.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah. How about bocce balls? It's Italian.
No bocce balls. No, I did everything. I don't. I just. I'm really doing a lot of what I said a year ago that you recorded and played back earlier. I'm really doing a lot of that.
Okay, but if I said, give me a couple of places, like if you said we'd go out, where's like, give me 3 places. You said Bubba's 45. Was it 45?
Yeah, I would. Now O'Reilly's downtown, only because it's downtown and it's not where I was. The bar. I don't even cross the bridge to go to the beach. I wouldn't know where to go. If I did, I'd probably say let's meet at Paradise. That's one of the last few kind of semi-local places that are left out there. Let's go to Paradise. Or
you ever go into your old bar?
I've been there probably every other week, maybe. I get mail. No, it's because I mail that's coming to my house and I take it down there. Or people want to meet. People say let's just meet there because that's where that's easy for me to get to. I don't have to worry about how am I going to park for O'Reilly's or this or that. There we go with the parking thing. So I've met people there. I've been there maybe like I said, every other week, maybe once.
Because of Ashby? Does Ashby meet you over there or what?
Ashby, every once in a while, he'll meet there. I've met some guys there to play Golden Tee golf, because we gamble on the golf machine. And,
Did they do anything with the place to make it theirs, or is it still just empty, sitting?
It looks. They put some things up, but they're like few and far between. It's not like it's a.
Right.
You go in and you look around to look at the stuff. I got more stuff up in here.
See, if you had hung on, you could have been the modern day Trader John. Yeah.
Well, New York now New York Knicks was going that route because I was running out of space on the walls for all the stuff that I had. And then when I lost that, I've been carrying all that stuff. That stuff's is still in my garage, Peter. I got rows and rows up to the ceiling of stuff that I had at New York Knicks that I could never fit inside Badlands, plus all the new stuff I got. I miss New York Knicks. That's the place that was my baby.
I get it. And you had good food there too.
And I had the homemade food. That was the best. If I did it again, I would try to recreate a New York Knicks again.
But you could have been. I mean, Trader John. I mean, he said that I played there before I moved out to L.A. And he'd sit on that bar stool right there at the register of the bar, the girls bartending, and he's like, "What are you drinking?" And I go, "I'll get it." You got $2. And that old cash register, like with the big number.
With the push buttons. Yeah.
Hey, speaking of which, radio DJs. I see Howard. From TK 101 and all that, and there's Miller, but whatever happened to Tiana? She's still around?
I don't know. I think the last I heard of Tiana, I think she went to Jackson, Mississippi. She may have passed away. I'm not quite sure. I know that Strummer is up in Alabama somewhere.
John Strummer, right? Wasn't it?
No, Mike was
right.
Mike. He was Strummer. Mike LaBianca, I think his name was. Yeah. There's a couple other ones. What's his name? Chip Nelson's still on the radio over at 96 Rock and Mobile. You can get him here, 96.1 to classic rock. Greg Golden's up in Atlanta. Linda, remember Linda? She went all the way out to Colorado. I don't think I've ever heard from her again. JJ's on the beach. JJ Waters is on the beach.
JJ, she lives there, but she doesn't work there.
Right, she's on the beach. Yeah, she lives there.
But I just, for some reason, Tiana, because before I moved out to LA, she was bartending at Trader John's over there, and she was out of the radio thing by then, I think. And I don't know why she just popped into my head when I was going through all this stuff, and I said, maybe where, because she just disappeared.
Yeah,
she was wild.
people, it was funny. When I worked those 12 years at the dock, even from 88 to 99, every year was like a whole different year. People had gotten married, got divorced, had children, just moved here, and it was a whole new thing for the year of 1994 was the year of these people, and the year of 1995. Now you had some carryovers, beach bums from from Mayor Bob, who was always out there, but every year there would be a whole different clique, you would say, because it started off with spring break and not knowing anybody because you got thousands of kids from all over the country from the colleges, and then you figured out your locals who kept coming back and were repeating. So everything changes. People, I've seen people that I hadn't seen in 20, 30 years, and they had this and they done that, and they went in this field and they got out of the business. And when you get out of the business, you're out of the business when people that were bartenders and they look at go back to the beginning. Andy Hayes, he was bartender at Franco's. He was my car manager over there at the Petershow Chevrolet for the last 30, 40 years, and he was out of the business. And people. Some people stick with it. Some people, I stuck with it because it was my dream. I knew what I was going to do.
Well, I get it, and like you said, you went there for spring break and never left, pretty much. But I was the guy that when I'd come back home in the 90s and early 2000s, I'd be out all night trying to go say hello to all, because I played all the bars, cutting my teeth, and so a lot of those people were still in the business, from Alan Cummings at Intermission and all these people, and just trying to locate. And I'd come home at 5 o'clock in the morning, and my mother would get up out of bed and go, "It's 5 o'clock in the morning. What the hell are you doing at 5 o'clock in the morning?" I couldn't explain it.
Sure. We still had the cool bottle clubs back then as well, so you could go after. And you like you said, playing with the pilots and doing the thing, then up between the Night Owl and Franco's and Show Palace, and you can't even name all the places you played. You go back, you try to find the people, and everything like that. But like I said, a lot of things change, and a lot of things you have to literally bar hop the entire town to see everybody, because they're all spread out. They're all not in the same place.
Yeah. My desire to do that has changed also, but I hung in there more than most would. And really kept up. I try to keep up with a lot of people more than, most people just, don't keep up with anybody and they just are in their own thing. I still, obviously, from doing this and things, I'm still a people person. I love my friends, and we had a lot of good times back then, but that was then, and things change, and who's not, dying, and it's just crazy. And I'm trying to stick around. I must have I must have 25,000 pictures of people. Just always. I always had a camera. Everybody used to laugh at me for taking a picture and a snapshot. Now I got them all, and they keep getting. Somebody passed away. I know you got pictures. Maybe you got pictures of them and this. So I had those videos restored for the bikini contests in the 90s at the dock. Back when they were doing, I got those, and I put them on every once in a while, and I just shake my head. And there's a lot of, believe me, you watch one of those over here for 2 hours, you'd be like, holy crap! Look, I know them, him. Look, there's who, boom, boom, boom. Yeah. So, let's go spring break, because spring break has gotten really nuts. Spring break back in our day.
Yeah, back in the good old days.
It was a lot of fun.
It was fun. It was because you had, why? Because you had rock and roll concerts for spring breakers from college. It's spring break right now. That is a signal. It's more of a signaling of a time for, how do you say, takeovers, or. And then, of course, you look, give you the perfect example. We had the rock and roll concerts in the 80s for spring breaks. Then, at the end of the 80s, MTV takes over Spring Break Rules. And all of they're sponsoring all of the concerts that are playing hip hop or rap or anything like that. And it wasn't a concert. There was more DJs. And 4 or 5 guys with microphones on a stage that you knew. I don't even know who they are, the Dr. Dre's or anything like that. The only one I know was Rum DNC because of Aerosmith with the Walk This Way video, which was one of the greatest videos of all time. I still remember that was that they did awesome. But that's what it was. It wasn't about the party on the beach. It was the party at the beach, which was a whole two different things.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm seeing so much crap going on right now, and it's
Everywhere.
not safe, not even safe. And it's so sad that it's turned out this way for this generation of kids. You know, I mean, there was always a little bit of stupid shit that went on, and people got hurt being overloaded. But the majority of the whole thing was just good times and having fun.
We did things that were mischievous. They weren't felonies.
Yeah,
they weren't. Like you were saying in the beginning, the kicking the doors in is. I'm telling you, I got one for each hand. You kick I don't care who's kicking my door in.
Exactly.
You're good. You know what? And I'm old enough where I don't care anymore.
Well, I mean, you don't. As far as anything like that happening, it should be considered a threat. Somebody's coming in to bust in. You know, I mean, I don't understand what the hell they're thinking.
What do they do in basketball? Roll the tape back. Here they are coming up my driveway. There they are kicking up. There they are kicking the door. Bang. You know what? So what's happening out there is just. I'm glad I'm as old as I am, and like you said about the generational thing. I don't know where. The breaking the law seemed to be something that look at me and they want to post it and they want to do that. What were they doing 10 years ago, Pete? The Tic Tac challenge. They were eating the washing machine things. What were they called? The pods. The Tide Pod. They were eating. Okay, let me tell you something. I did some mischievous things when I did mischievous things. I was stealing Christmas lights. Unscrewing Christmas lights. Filling up a garbage bag like Santa Claus. So, Jesus. I wasn't going after people. What is it? And the road raging, the driving.
I know. Well, it takes a special kind of stupid to be eating Tide Pods. But all right, look, we're it's going to be a 2-hour show tonight. But again, all really great stuff, and we talked about more than just we actually everything that mattered. I think we talked about, and we could still be talking about it for another hour. But we're going to have to. So. I pretty much you've held up to your words from last year's phone call. You're just kind of cruising, doing whatever the hell you want to do and when you want to do it, and you're happy as hell about it. Is that it's a tedious. I didn't know how tedious it was putting each and every, looking at each and every piece of music that I have, whether it's worth something or not, number one. Number two, then, of course, the perfect example, Pink Floyd, The Wall, there's 300 different CDs. You got to find the right one. You got to find, people are looking for specific stuff. And if you have some of the holy grails or first pressings of records and stuff, hundreds of dollars and stuff like that. So it's time consuming, but you know what? It's taking up my time. It's keeping me busy. And it's not like it's something I have to do. I want to get this. I want to get all this stuff that I have and that I gathered, I accumulated, and get it out to the masses. Let everybody buy what I have, just so it goes somewhere to a meaningful home. And then, 30, 40 years, those people, if they're young enough, they may go out and then they may sell it too. Hopefully they'll get more money. Do you have a store? How do you advertise for your memorabilia? I could have given you a plug. I didn't even think about that.
All the music is going online on Discogs. That's the music website where people go look for good stuff. I haven't even got to the memorabilia yet. It's probably going to be an eBay type thing. I got to figure that out with a scale and the weight, because you got to and stuff that's fragile. You got to wrap it. Then you got to find how much it weighs, how much it's going to cost to what size box is going to be in, and then you got to ship it to bumfuck. The music is easy.
Yeah,
the music is easy. It goes in special boxes and
just open up a store. Nick's Picks. There you go.
Picnic. No.
Yeah. All right. Look, I want to thank you for coming on. In my mind, I said I know I could figure something to bring you on every once in a while. There's always something to talk about. But this was a good start because, again, I haven't had you on for a year because we both have had a lot going on in our lives and WTF is it also means welcome to Florida. So welcome back
thank you very much. Number one, and I love the background you got there. You look like Peter Jennings instead of Peter. It could be Peter G. Jennings with a G. And the coat and tie. I feel underdressed, but then again,
believe me, it's much more comfortable your way. But I have to answer to people.
And you have to do that too. So, and it being April Fool's was easy. Maybe at the end of the summer, we'll see what other changes when they open up Palafox and this and that. We can.
I do need to get up with you face to face. That's for sure. I haven't gotten up with. I'm telling you, the transition's been very overwhelming, more than I imagined it was going to be. In my head, I was going to do this, and this, and I was going to be done. Yeah, well, it's not working out that way, and I'm learning to just one step at a time, and at least I'm moving forward. But there's a lot of shift going on right now.
There's a lot. I'm telling you, it's a lot easier to eliminate one thing instead of trying to eliminate 5 things at the same time, one at a time. And I know that but I'm sure getting here, it's been overwhelming. But you'll get it. Hey, you got all the time in the world. You got time on your hands,
Time is precious for me, though. I really, but the thing is, it's not allowing me to spend time to go do not fun things because I'm all business. I'm just wired that way. I want to make sure everything is going, but I'm starting to break off here, and I'll start loosening.
You will, and like I said, Pete, I told you I do it for events. I'll go to do this. I'll go to do that. It's just something that's just not just to get in the car and go to the bar and go to the restaurant or whatever. It's got to be something, because I've done it all. We and you in a lot of ways you did too. We did all that. We did the stuff. We lived that life. We just lived it.
Todd McCabe says, enjoyed the show, guys. Mind your own business.
Leave your listeners alone.
That's Todd McCabe he used to play in Big Picture years ago. Remember the band Big Picture?
Big Picture. Wow.
Yeah, wow. That's what I'm saying. Big Picture, and now he's Cadillac Attack. He's him and Jimmy Ray Cross, Cadillac Attack.
Cadillac Attack.
Yeah.
Are they the ones that play on the beach on Tuesdays?
No, they're local in-town boys. But they're a duo, acoustic guitar and stand-up bass. It's kind of rockabilly, country rock.
Maybe we should take a ride out to the beach on one of those Tuesdays where they have the bands on the beach thing.
Oh, that would be tourists, huh?
Well, if we wait a few more weeks, it'll be just locals.
Oh, okay. Well, look, one step at a time, baby steps. Yeah. I got you on the show. I got to go because I got to close up. Either hang out if you can in the green room, or if you got to go, I'll talk to you tomorrow or whenever. But I need a couple minutes to finish up here. But ladies and gentlemen, right there, the man, the myth, the legend, first time of camera appearance on the show, other than making a million phone calls. I remember one time you called in. When I was visiting, there was a raccoon in the attic. I found out there was a raccoon in the house. And you called the show. It was like a Sunday night when I was doing Sunday nights. And you go, Pete, if you want to get rid of that raccoon, take one of your speakers and put it up in the attic when you're doing your show. That'll get rid of him. You son of a bitch. Yeah. But it worked. But it worked. All right. Thank you.
Go do your thing. And we'll be in touch. I'm going to hang out on the side here.
There you go. Say goodbye. One last look right there. Take a good look at that mug right there. Right there. Nick, wow. New York Nick. Yes, sir. All right, buddy. I love you. I'll talk to you in a few minutes. There we go.
Toodaloo.
Toodaloo. And away we go. How about that? Huh? That's pretty good local talk, I thought. If you're not from here, I mean, stories are stories. Everything has entertainment with a purpose, folks. I want to thank everybody for watching Life of Peter G Show. Don't forget, Wednesday, April 8th. Today's April Fools, and I did not do any April Fools today, except for our we thought it'd be a great time to get Nick on the show for April Fools. But it was good, serious stuff. But Wednesday, next week, Wednesday, April 8th, I have author Miss Kimberly Morgan's going to be on this show. She's got like 4 or 5 books out. I got some of the books. They're all right here. A Capo's Prayer. She's got it's like a series. There's 1, 2, 3 of those, and I think she's got another one on the way. So Sins of the Midnight Suns. This is a pretty interesting book. I've kind of touched on this. A lot of books. I got a lot of authors that are coming on the show, and it's hard to read all these books. But she's going to be on the show. She's easy on the eyes. She's very entertaining, and she's a Southern belle. She's got a Southern drawl like nobody's business. And she's from Tupelo, Mississippi. And she's going to be on the show right here, Wednesday, April 8th. Miss Kimberly Morgan, author of all those books I just showed you. You're going to want to join me because every show is got something worth watching. I want to thank you. Don't forget, share, please. Share with your friends, all the short clips and everything. Your comments are welcome, even the bad ones. I love seeing them, and I do get my share of those. But for the majority, everybody's pretty much on board, and we're doing great, and I love you for it, all right? Anything else? No, yeah. And finally, be kind. Life is short. We're going through a lot of disagreements, and they're doing this on purpose. They want us all at each other's throats. Don't let it happen. Somebody got onto me for saying I love you guys, as I always do, even though I disagree with some people. And it's like, that's okay. I mean, so what? It's better than hating. I don't agree with you on something. You don't agree with me on something. So what? Go for it. But I do love you. It's like too many years and memories. It's like to ruin it all, throwing it all out the door over things that are going on around us that, they're purposely doing because that's the way they want. They don't want us talking to each other. And I refuse to let that happen. So I hope you will refuse to let that happen too. All right. Be kind. Like I said, life is short. You don't have to be an ass, but you don't have to take a bunch of shit from people either. Okay. It's that simple. So just be good. I'll talk to you next week. Enjoy the shorts from this week that'll be coming up all week. Hey, have a great American Easter Sunday. For the Greeks, it's another week and a half away. We'll talk about that next week, but it's American Easter on Sunday. So for those of you who follow, have a great Easter weekend. Be safe, and let's have a lot more love and a lot less hate. And that's it. My name is Peter G. I want to thank everybody for watching Life of Peter G, The Peter G Show, every Wednesday like clockwork, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, and 9 p.m. on the East Coast. And more than anything, God willing, all right? Be cool. I love you guys. Peace out.
Peter G Show. Peter G Show. Divorced dad, single dad. Divorced dad, single dad. Peter G Show.